So now it is being recorded. We always record the session because we understand that there are teachers who cannot make it to the live session, and we want everybody to benefit from this. So once the session is over, we start working on the video recording and we post it on our social media. Now, also remember that we are a large family, a huge community of teachers and future teachers joining the session. So try to keep your microphones muted as much as possible. This is going to help us keep, a very neat session. So please keep that in mind. Also, remember that by the end of the session, we always share with you the attendance and evaluation form. Do not leave the session without completing that. We use that to record your attendance and also to see on your comments. We really appreciate your feedback. Also remember that this time we're offering a free e-certificate, and this is going to be issued within 8 days. So after the session, we start working on that, and in 8 days, you might have your e-certificate ready via email. All right. So I told you that we had a very special presenter today. It is my great honor to introduce Mariel Osorio. Mariel Osorio is a TESOL professional with over 13 years of teaching experience. She holds a bachelor's degree from Universidad de Salvador and a master's degree from St. Cloud State University. She has been an Education USA advisor for 4 years, and through her role, she has aided cohorts and individuals to reach their goals of studying and participating in exchange programs in America. Mariel is also a U.S. Department of State alumna, participating in 3 sponsored programs: Global Undergraduate Exchange Program, e-Teacher Scholarship Program at the Oregon State University, and Salvadoran American Scholarship Program. She's going to be leading the session today, and she will be giving you tips and tricks on how to work on your professional and academic profile so that you are one of the chosen candidates for a scholarship program. So with no more introduction, Mariel, I will stop sharing screen over here. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Ovidio, and thank you very much to everyone who has joined the session. It is an honor for me to be able to speak to you this afternoon, so thank you very much to the Teachers Up community for inviting me this afternoon. So this afternoon, as you know, we're going to talk about scholarship opportunities for teachers of English in El Salvador. And I'm going to do my very best to condense the information because, believe it or not, there's a lot to cover. So let me go over the 3 parts that we are going to discuss. First, what are some scholarship opportunities for pre-service teachers and for in-service teachers? We understand pre-service as those who have not graduated from their bachelor's degree yet, and in service, those who have already graduated from their bachelor's degree or master's degree and are practicing teaching. The second question we are going to answer is, where can I find these opportunities? Because sometimes the opportunities are there, but we don't know exactly where to find them. And 3, how do I prepare myself to be a great candidate for these opportunities? So before I start with the first question, answering the first question, I want to know, how many scholarship programs do you think we are going to talk about today? Tell me really quickly in the chat because we don't have a lot of time, but tell me, how many scholarship programs do you think I'm going to tell you about today? 2, 3, 3, lucky number 7, 3, 3. All right, okay, around 4, 5, okay, 6. We're getting higher and higher. As long as you don't tell me about 20, we're fine. All right, actually, this afternoon, I'm going to tell you about 9. And that is why I'm telling you that it's going to take a little bit long. So I'm going to be showing the requirements for each of the scholarships, but I'm not going to mention all of them because it would take me too long. So you are more than welcome to take screenshots, pictures, or anything that you want in order to keep the information with you, because I'm going to focus more on telling you what the programs are, okay? And if you see me looking this way, it's because, like I said, it's a lot of information, so I do need to consult my notes. So let's answer the first question. What are some scholarship opportunities for pre-service and in-service? And we're going to answer them in two parts. Let's start by talking about pre-service teachers. So if you haven't graduated from the university yet, if you are currently a student of whether it is English or modern languages, what kind of opportunities do you have? So for you guys, I have three different programs that are sponsored by the US Embassy, whether it is fully covered or partially covered. We're going to talk about UGRAD, SUSI, and SAS. Let's start with UGRAD, which is the, hang on, let me cover this. So the Global Undergraduate Exchange Program, also known as UGRAD, this program is a non-degree undergraduate study abroad program, and it's for a semester. So about 5 to 6 months, depending on which university you go to. And basically what this program allows you to do is to study at a university in the United States for a semester, and it is combined with community service, professional development, and cultural enrichment. So through this program, you are selected, you go to a university in the United States, you study classes that I would recommend. Probably you cannot get at your university, but you are interested in taking. And like I said, there's a community service component. So you do have to work at the university, not work, like legally work, but volunteer at organizations at the university, as well as taking some classes that will help you to understand the American culture a little bit better. This program is fully funded by the Department of State, so all of the expenses are covered. And like I said at the beginning, I'm not going to stop on the requirements, but you can see them there. There's also some other requirements that I didn't include, such as being eligible to receive a J1 visa and making sure that you are healthy, cleared by a physician, and you have to return to the country after the completion of your program and stay in the country for 2 years after participating. The second program that we have for pre-service teachers are the study of the U.S. Institutes for Student Leaders, or SUSI, more commonly known as SUSI. And this program is 5 to 6 week academic programs. That's going to depend on the type of institute that you are participating in. And for this program, these are students of university that are between 18 and 25 years of age. And basically you do 4 weeks of academic residency. So you go to different classes, discussions, lectures, workshops, and you have 1 week of educational study tours. So you get to know also the American culture. The purpose of this program is to allow students to foster their leadership abilities and also to understand the American culture a little bit better. Some of the things that are emphasized in this program is topics such as civil engagement, entrepreneurship, education, policy making, etc. And like I mentioned, for this program, it's 5 weeks. So it's not a very long program, but just like with the other ones, you do have to obviously return to the country. And finally, let me tell you about one of the components of SAS. You're going to see this name more than once in my presentation because the SAS program, the Salvadoran American Scholarship Program, has different programs within it. So you're going to see this more than once. So another opportunity, which is this one, is the Amity internship. And basically in this program, which is in partnership with 5 Salvadoran universities. The program co-funds the Amity internship for students of TESOL or related majors. So modern languages is also included in this one. And this is a partially funded scholarship. So this is not a full scholarship, but it's still a pretty great opportunity. Basically, what you do in this program is that you go for 10 months to a school in the United States, and you are a TA, a teacher assistant, to a Spanish speaking professor or a teacher in the United States. And you're working with children to teach them about the language, but also our culture. So this is a great opportunity. And usually we send from 30 to 50 people in this program. And to be nominated to this one, you do have to go through your university. It is open, but most likely you're going to be chosen if you have the nomination from your university. Now, let's talk about opportunities for in-service teachers. We have quite a few more. So you're probably familiarized with some of these. And we are going to talk about the flagship program of the United States or the Department of State, which is the Fulbright program. We're also going to cover the TEA, the SUSI Scholars. You probably remember that one from the pre-service teachers, but this is a different one. The Hubert Humphrey. And again, like I said, you're going to see here, we have SASP for master's degree and SASP for PhDs. So let's start with the Fulbright Foreign Student Program. That is the flagship program of the United States or the Department of State. And this one enables graduate students, young professionals, and artists from abroad to study and conduct research in the United States. The program sponsors up to 2 years of study towards a master's or a doctoral program. And it is designed to promote mutual understanding between the United States and countries around the world. This is a very competitive program. It allows you to go to the United States and study most likely a master's degree, and it is fully funded. So you don't really have to put anything out of pocket. This year, actually right now, this program is open. So if you are interested in applying, you should be working on it right now. The deadline for applying for this program is May 4th. And this year, the panel of members, the Fulbright panel, is going to focus on the areas of information technology and communication, energy and energy efficiency, light industry, agribusiness and food processing, and here we go, English language teaching. So again, if you are interested, of course, if you have the requirements and you are interested in applying to this program, it is open right now. So this is something that you should be working on in this moment if you are interested in studying a master's degree through this program in the US. The next program we're going to talk about is the Fulbright Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program, or TEA. This program is for international secondary level teachers taking you to the United States for a 6-week program. So if you are a teacher in a school, right, this is the program for you. The program has 4 different components. The first one is teacher training, in which teachers are allowed to go to academic seminars, learn about methodologies, student-centered learning, content-based instruction, lesson planning, etc. So it is a great opportunity for you to refresh that knowledge that you acquired at the university. It also gives you field experience because you are immersed in an American school. You are able to observe, co-teach, and share your expertise in a US secondary school. There's also a component of best practice exchange. You are going to study and observe international best practices. Since there's going to be more teachers from other parts of the country, it allows you of the world. It is going to allow you to share different perspectives and learn from what others are doing. And finally, there's a civic and cultural component to it because they also have a moment to go to performances, sporting events, US home hospitality visits, and trips. So you are also able to know about American culture and what the USA has to offer. Now, we mentioned SUSI for students, for leaders, but there's also a program for study of the US Institutes for Scholars and Secondary Educators. Now, this program allows professors from universities or um, secondary school teachers to go to the United States and learn about the culture of the United States. What is the purpose? Is that these participants get a chance to learn more about the culture and change curricula. So if you are selected to this program, you are able to go to the United States for 6 weeks long, and you engage in rigorous academic coursework and panel discussions, interact and establish networks with American scholars, meet with experts in respective fields, visit civic institutions, etc. Some of the things that are covered in this program are American culture and values, education and workforce development, journalism and media, secondary education, economics and business, and foreign policy. Now, this program is very competitive because when it comes to Fulbright, for example, the first program that I mentioned in this section, we have, as a country, we have slots that are available to us. So every year, there are 3 positions, for example, that we are able to send 3 candidates. However, for this program, it is a worldwide competition. So you don't compete with other Salvadorans necessarily, you compete with people from all over the world. So it is a very highly competitive program. And like I mentioned, the purpose of this is to select people who are in the power or have the power to change curricula in terms of American culture. Another very competitive program for which we also do not have a secured slot as a country. So we, or well, not we, the Fulbright panel looks for very highly competitive candidates. And it's the Hubert Humphrey Fellowship Program. This program provides 10 months of professional enrichment and non-degree graduate level study in the United States, meaning that in this program, you do not get like a master's degree or a PhD or a bachelor's degree. This is more for you to get the training. However, there is not a degree attached to it. And this is, again, for highly accomplished mid-level professionals from all over the world. And again, your competition is around the globe, not with other Salvadorans necessarily. They are chosen because they show potential on leadership and they have demonstrated commitment to public service. Some of the, well, you have there the requirements that you have to follow, and you go to different universities that are specialized in your field. That's basically what this program is about. We're getting through 2 more. So again, with SASP, we have the Salvadoran American Scholarship Program for the Master of Arts in TESOL. This program sponsors upfront costs for students wanting to study a master's degree in the United States, specifically in Minnesota. Now, if you were here for the beginning of the webinar and you heard my introduction, you might have heard that I actually have a Master of Arts in TESOL from this university. So I was actually one of the first beneficiaries of this program. And basically what you do is that you are selected to, well, first you have to be admitted into the university, and they give you a assistantship, so that you can be a teacher, or you can work in the writing center, or depending on the needs of the university. And what you have to do is to teach, and through that, you are able to afford the credits at the university. This is not a fully funded program. You do have to take that into account. There will be expenses that are attached to it. But if you ask me, it is worth it. And so for this one, because it's a master's degree, it is a 2-year commitment, in which you are both working and studying in the United States. Finally, our newest baby as the SAS program is the PhD. So since last year, we have started kind of linking with that objective of, we have been able to send, I don't remember how many people, but over 10 people to the master's degree. What is the next step? And the next logical step is the PhD. So through connections with the University of Mississippi, we are now able also to nominate students to become PhD candidates at their linguistics program at their university. And over there, similarly with the master's degree, you become a TA, a teaching assistant, or a teacher of Spanish. So in the master's degree, you are a teacher of English. In the PhD, you are a teacher of Spanish. And again, through that, you are able also to fund your studies of PhD. Since this is a PhD, this is a 5-year commitment. So it is a longer commitment of researching and all of these things. And again, similar to the master's degree and Amity internship, these are not fully funded. You do have to have personal funds and be willing to make an investment to your education in your future to participate in these programs, on top of all of the other requirements that you have been able to see on my screen. All right, so believe it or not, we've already covered the 9 programs that I wanted to tell you about this afternoon. Now I'm seeing some things in the chat. I'm not sure if, yeah, I think there we go.
Yes, there is a
So,
question, Mariel. I'm sorry. There is a
tell me.
question. Is there a list about the universities to apply regarding technology in education? If USA program have a list of universities.
All right, so there is not a list of universities, but I work for Education USA. I'm gonna introduce that at the end. And we can help you with finding that program. Now, the funding is going to, of course, depend on the university, on which program. Like if you do it through the Fulbright program, like if you receive the Fulbright scholarship, you will have to give them a list of the universities that you are interested in to navigate that, because we know that it can be a little complicated. Because there are over 4,000 universities in the United States. And so it can be a little overwhelming, but that is kind of what we are here for, to help you find those opportunities. Let's see. Let me answer that question at the end, because I see another one there. All right, so they're asking about master's degree, people who are studying master's degree. So for that, you would have to, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go back here, start here at the beginning. So if you're already studying a master's degree, you can apply for the Fulbright program and get another master's degree, or you can apply for the PhD if you are interested in a PhD in linguistics. If you are not interested in any of these, we can definitely help you navigate that, but you do have to take into account that all of these scholarships, Fulbright, TEA, SUSE, Hubert, all of these are fully funded, meaning the Department of State is the one that pays for everything. Whereas if you apply directly to a university, you would have to make that investment. All right, so number 2, where can I find these opportunities? Let me give you some tips to find scholarships. First, you do have to keep an eye for the official US Embassy website because that is where they post most of the scholarships when they open. So the call for proposals, or when you are going to apply to a program, is usually once a year. So you do have to be constantly, and that's why I have this here of, yeah, refresh, repeat, because you do have to constantly be on the lookout for these opportunities. Sometimes we are kind of just waiting for things to fall on our lap and we don't actively seek them. And so we might miss these opportunities because we didn't see. And let's be honest, Salvadorans are not very good with deadlines. That's just something that is not in our culture. And deadlines are super important. If you don't meet a deadline, you're out. So you do have to make sure that you're doing things on time. So keep an eye on their website and also their social media. Like I said, the one that is open right now is the Fulbright program. Then stay in touch with the internationalization office at your university and with faculty members. Many times, especially if it's something that is related to SAS, because that's one that our office has to take care of, we communicate these opportunities first to the internationalization offices at the universities that are in contact with us. So make sure that you keep those relationships so that you have, so sometimes, for example, we will open calls for this, for the master's program, and we will ask the people in internationalization or the deans of the universities to nominate people. So make sure that you are in contact with them. And of course, reach out to the Education USA office and follow us on our social media, because there are a lot of opportunities there as well for you to participate not only in Department of State programs, but just to apply to universities in general by yourself. All right, so great. How do I prepare myself to be a great candidate for these opportunities? So before we get into that, let's take a moment. What were some common requirements that you saw in most or all of the scholarship opportunities? Let me read the chat. So what were some common requirements that you saw in most or all of the scholarship? Let's see if you were paying attention, because, okay, service to community, GPA, the IBT, I've finished a degree, not in all of them, but yes, leadership, all right? GPA of 8 or above, high English level, perfect. Salvadoran citizenship, I think with that one we're mostly okay, right? Volunteering, proficiency in spoken and written English, service to community, commitment to return, all right? Perfect. Those are more than helpful. All right, so some of these things that we are asking here, right, are things that we can work on. And in general, like I mentioned before, some initial tips. Be constant in your search. Sometimes, like I said, we wait for the opportunities to fall on our lap, and that's not always going to be the case. So make sure that you are constantly looking for these opportunities so that you can take advantage of them when they come up. Familiarize yourself with the requirements of the scholarships you are interested in applying for, and make sure you actually meet them. Sometimes I've participated in interviews for Fulbright, and like I said, our office takes care of SAS. So I'm in all of the interviews for SAS. And sometimes we get some profiles, let's say, that might not match with what we are looking for. So there are 9 opportunities. Look for the one that you want, of course, but also the one that matches your profile, right? And the one that you are ready for. But I'll talk about that in a moment. If you visit this website, it's actually going to show you. Let me see if it loads. Sometimes, I don't know why, lately the Department of State pages have been acting a little iffy. But if you look here, this is the official page for the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs for exchange programs. And all of the information that I've given to you today is on this page. So if you look for example, Susie, and again, if it fails, I apologize. I don't know why it's been having some issues with it. Uh, but if you look for any of the scholarships, except for the SAS, because that is apart from the Department of State, even though it does have funds from the United States Embassy, you're going to be able to find it here. So here you're going to be able to find all of the information that I have given to you this afternoon. So make sure that you keep that link with you so that you can have it handy so that when you want to apply, they are there. And make sure that your English proficiency is up to par. As you saw, for many of them, if not for all, you will have to pass an English test. Whether it is a TOEFL ITP or a TOEFL IBT, most likely a TOEFL IBT. So the internet-based test. So you will have to pass this. So make sure that you're practicing your English and improving it as much as you can. Be strategic about your professional profile. Make sure that you are constantly developing your skills and that you are constantly in pursuit of growing as a professional. And I think that the fact that you are here and that you are participating in Teachers Up as a professional development, I think that speaks very highly of you. And looking for these types of opportunities is going to definitely help you to become a more skilled and better prepared professional. Also, I've split this one into two. So let me talk first to the pre-service teachers. So if you haven't graduated from the university yet, please keep your grades up. That 8 is usually, I'm not going to say that is obligatory, but especially for our majors, like I'll give you a little hint, not a hint, a little insider tip. For example, for engineering or for, like physics and those classes, they can be a little bit more forgiving for the GPA. But for our major, they're usually pretty strict with that 8. So keeping your grades up is definitely very important. Get involved with your community. Like you saw before, and like you told us, some of you told us in the chat, community service is very important. Why? Because these scholarships are looking for people who are not selfish, basically, right? Who are showing that they are caring about their community, that the knowledge that they're going to get, the skills that they're going to get through the program are going to be shared with others. And that is why getting involved with your community is so important. And unfortunately, it is not something that Salvadoran culture promotes a lot. We're very academic centered and not very extracurricular. Again, think strategically about your goals. So now that you know these programs, focus yourself on which one you want to go to and start thinking and preparing to make sure that you have all of those requirements. Start gaining teaching experience. That one is pretty important because you are, like, for example, if you apply to the Amity internship, this is definitely a huge plus because it's going to be more likely that you will be chosen if you've already had some teaching experience, whether it is through your social hours or through your teaching practicum, or because you have a job. That is also a very good thing. And network with others in the field. Again, Teachers Up is a great tool for you to be able to know other people who are in the field. Sometimes it can feel isolated, especially if you are in a school by yourself. So try to network with others. One that I went to was the UGRAD program. And I heard about it not through the US Embassy. I don't even know Facebook existed back then. Um, I learned about it from a professor, from teacher Mike Carranza. If he hadn't said that, if I hadn't heard that from him, I wouldn't have applied, and I probably wouldn't be where I am now. So make sure that you network with others. Now, for in-service teachers, analyze carefully which program you are best suited for. And for this one, it's a little more delicate, let's say, because this is for like more grown-ups, right? Maybe you don't have the time or the ability to commit yourself for 2 years or for 5 years. So think about that very carefully. Be involved in your community and other extracurricular activities. I know it is difficult because you are working every day and you're working all day long, but try to save some time for those extracurriculars. And especially, like I said, service in your community, involving yourself as a leader of your community, involving yourself as a leader at church, but doing something that will give you that extra push in your curriculum. I'm sorry, in your CV. And have a concrete plan and solid reason for participating in a program. I think this one is key. Many times people come to interviews and they are not sure why they, like, I finished my bachelor's, now I want a master's, but why do you want a master's? Do you have a plan on how this master's is going to help you? Do you have a plan on how this PhD is going to help you and your community? So make sure that you have solid reasoning for continuing your study. Like I said, for these programs of in-service, if we go to the longest, it is 5 years, right? So make sure that you are committed and that you are able to participate in these programs before you apply. And finally, be careful when filling out your applications and make sure you send in everything that is required. Sometimes what happens is that we send things incomplete or we do things in a rush and we don't read properly. Please make sure that you are making sure and proofreading and making sure that everything is complete. If you're required to write an essay, ask someone to proofread it before you send it in and avoid using AI because it is easily detectable. Think of what sets you apart and highlight it. So all of the requirements that I mentioned before for all of the programs, those are the minimum. So what makes you different? What makes you more qualified than others that are going to also go for that scholarship? Be honest throughout the process. If there's something that you need to mention it throughout the process, because eventually, especially if it's a big lie, it will come out and then the scholarship is going to go to waste. And keep in mind that applying requires time and effort. Like I've said before, sometimes we just expect things to fall in our lap and we don't want to work for it. And that is a big problem. I've seen people who start applications like we can, well, not me personally, but the person in charge of the Fulbright program can see how many people started the application and how many people actually finished the application. So what happens sometimes is that they start and they see all of the things that they need to do and it's like, no, whatever, I'm not gonna do it. And then they don't stop. So keep that in mind. If you're going to apply for a program, it's going to, just the application is going to require time and effort. Imagine the program. So make sure that you have that in. All right. So it is time now for the breakout room discussion. I think, if I'm not wrong, Ovidio, this should take about 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
we have a question. Okay. So we have a question here that I would love if you could go discuss with others in the breakout rooms. And the question is, what are some specific things that you can personally do to develop your academic or professional profile and improve your chances of getting a scholarship? So maybe you can take a screenshot and then a video and, my goodness, forgot the name.
Yeah, Alexia.
Alexia,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so just one thing, you can take a screenshot or I will be broadcasting the question to the groups. So in case you forget it, you will see a message popping up in the middle of the discussion. We have about 5 minutes, and we usually get this complaint. It's too short. We will try to make the groups very small so that everybody's get a chance to speak. But yeah, do your best. So far we have like 5 people per room. You should see a message on your screen inviting you to join a breakout room. So please feel free to join it. And once again, I will be broadcasting the question to the groups in just a minute. All right. Here we go. So if you see the breakout room over there, by the way, I will stop recording. Um, um, yes, I think we're all back. Well, thank you so much for your interaction in your breakout rooms. I hope you had the time to share some ideas with your fellow teachers and future teachers. We have a couple of minutes for questions. So if you have one, you can go ahead and, and shoot. Mariel?
Yes. So let's see if there's anyone who has any specific questions. Oh, that was fast. Okay. What would you recommend to do in case we have applied to some scholarships, but we haven't gotten the answer? Persevere. We've seen cases of people who get the scholarship the third time they apply. I know it can be discouraging to not get it the first time, especially because, like I said, it takes time, it takes effort to be filling out applications. But I would definitely encourage you to reapply. And if you notice that there's a weakness, maybe in your academic or professional profile, improve it, right? Like look for opportunities of professional growth that will allow you to stand out other applications. Do you help in to enter some program that we may be eligible for? Or do we have to do it on our own? If they are for the scholarship programs that I mentioned before, you are basically on your own. However, we do usually have webinars, especially for the Fulbright program, which is the most famous. Usually hosts webinars on, especially Fernando Herrera is the person in charge. He usually has a live session or he goes to universities and talks about the program. So definitely seek out those opportunities. Carlos, I'm not sure if you have a question. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Thank you. I have the TOEFL ITP. I have a score of 600. Do you think that can be good for applying, or do I need the TOEFL IBT?
Depending on the program. So, for example, if you are going to apply for the Fulbright program, they can accept that as an initial show of proof of English. But if you are selected, whether it is for UGRAD, for Fulbright, for any of the Department of States, you will have to take the IBT. However, because these are fully funded programs, if you are selected to go, the program is going to pay for you to take the IBT. So the ITP is a good opening door for interviews so that they can take you into account so that they know that you do know English. But to go to the United States, you will have to take the IBT.
All right, thank you.
No problem. One last question. Norma, you are the one. Tell me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I worked for 25 years in a private school, and I had the opportunity to do the TOEFL in it. But the thing was, my TOEFL, the grade was in my old documents that it's supposed to have there. My expediente, I don't know how do we say it in Spanish.
Yeah, your file.
And when I quit and I retired from that school and I asked for it, they said that it was impossible. They give it back to me because it supposed it was like they belong to. I didn't agree because it's something that I did it by myself.
All right.
And I
Question.
suppose I did
You're
it for them because they needed to know what was my high level about it. And now, but that one it happened a long time ago. And when some part that they always I asking if we have gotten the TOEFL, I said yes, but I don't have some paper that can demonstrate that I did it. I guess
Okay.
it's necessary to do it again, I guess.
Yes. So something I didn't mention here because I didn't see the relevance is that I am also the person in charge of the TOEFL test. Um, so yes, if you have taken the TOEFL test before, you do need to have some sort of proof, even if it's not the official. However, if you lost the official and it's over 2 years since you took it, I'm sorry, but that is not valid anymore. The TOEFL, whether it is ITP or IBT, the validity of that score is only 2 years. So if it's older than 2 years, you do have to retake it. Sorry about that. All right.
Maybe it.
Um,
Yes.
hi, Norma, I think you muted. Because of the time, I think we're going to move on to the next part. But please, keep in touch with Mariel. She can definitely help you solve those doubts. Mariel?
Yes. So let me close my part with telling you about Education USA. As you can see over here, there's the logo of the organization that I work for. If you have never heard about us, shame on you. I'm kidding. But if you have never heard about us, Education USA is a global network
never
of
heard about.
it is a global network of advising centers. So we are in many countries around the world, and we are the official source of information on US study. We provide accurate, comprehensive, and current information about the full range of accredited US institutions of higher education in the US. And our sessions, our advising, um, our guidance is completely free. We offer guidance through the 5 steps of getting you to the United States, from researching your options, looking for financial options, completing your application, applying for your visa, and preparing you for departure. So if it's not through any of the programs that I have mentioned this afternoon, but you want to look for opportunities to study in the United States and you are interested in receiving that support, you can definitely reach out to us. And for time, definitely follow us on social media. We are in Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as Education USA El Salvador. You can send us a message through there and we will be more than happy to assist you with that. So once again, thank you everyone for joining the session. Thank you to Teachers Up. And we are here to help you reach your goal of studying in the US.
Attendance.
Thank you so much, Mariel. We will be sharing the attendance form in just a minute. Before we move forward, I would like to start sharing screen. Will you stop? Mariel, if you stop sharing screen, I will be able to share mine. Yeah, there we go. So once again, thank you so much for joining the session today. I know it's a Tuesday evening and sometimes we do have things to do at home. Just let me, can you confirm if you see my
Yes.
screen? Yeah. All right. So, Maria, thank you so much for putting all this presentation together and for sharing with us and with the Teachers App community about this. Teachers App wants to present you with this e-certificate of appreciation. We, as I always say, it's very little compared to all the work that you put on, having this session together and for dedicating 60 minutes of your time to share with us. So thank you so much. I will send you this via email very soon. Before you go, before you leave, please remember to complete the attendance form. The link will be shared on the in the chat box in just a few seconds. Please do not leave without completing that. As I said in the beginning, it helps us keep track of your attendance, and at the same time, we love hearing from you. So if you have a special piece of advice, please let us know in the attendance and evaluation form. We really appreciate feedback. Remember that you will receive your e-certificate in the next 8 days. So we will work on that as soon as possible. Keep checking your email because you will get it there. Also, keep track of us or check on our social media. We're posting things. We're including updated information for you there. So you can also use it as a mean of communication. So if you have any questions or you would like us to guide you to Education USA, please do it through our social media. Announcements. If you're participating in the General English component, remember that on Saturday, April the 6th, there is the class number 4. We do have 2 shifts, let's call it that way. So the morning one goes from 8 to 9:30, and the afternoon goes from 4 to 5:30 p.m. You will please follow or use the link that you receive when registering for this component. And this is something that I know you will be interested on. Talking about scholarship opportunities, we just got the announcement this morning that the Fulbright TA scholarship is still receiving applications. So if you want to participate, if you want to send the application, do it through contactteachersupgrade.com. We will be more than happy to help you out with this. You can also contact Mariel for support, but basically we have the due date till April 14th. So check on that day. Last but not least, please join us for our May webinar. Next in line is Empowering Education, Practical Strategies for Leadership in the English Classroom. This is going to be on May the 7th. Same time from 5:30 to 6:30. You can pre-register at www.teachersupgrade.com. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for staying here until the very end of the webinar.